nicer, sweeter for the Indian team, because right on the stroke of lunchtime, India have picked up another wicket, and it's a very important wicket simply because it is the very first wicket in this test match. 16th wicket that India have picked in this test match, but the very first wicket that has not been taken by a bowler whose name is either Mohammad Siraj or Akash Deep. So the first bowler outside of Siraj and Akash Deep from the Indian camp to get his name in the wickets column is Washington Sundar, and he's got the big fish of Ben Stokes. Though the way the match is at the moment, I think talks of an England win are pretty much done and dusted. I had given them 0% yesterday of winning the test
Look,
match.
he thought us and he went back on his own teachings.
The first thing I've taught you guys, never give 0. But yesterday I said that this is the only time I'm going 0 because this cannot be achieved. Anyway, coming back to this session, India have picked up 3 wickets, 3 crucial wickets at that. Once again, it was that man Akash Deep who started off very well with the new ball. He picked up those 2 wickets, and then now Washington has given India 1 wicket. It was a nervy start to the day because it was rain, but now session 1 is done and dusted. You still have 2 more sessions to go. 4 wickets is what India require. Let's first dwell into the first session. How do you think the first session was?
Ati Sundar.
Akash Deep did Akash Deep thinks. I think he has had a knack of doing this thing in whatever limited test career that he has had, ever since the last 1 year or so. Striking with the new ball, striking when the team requires it. And I think he has done it once again. The only delivery I would say that where he needed some kind of assistance from the pitch was the one in which he got Harry Brook out. Apart from that, I think it's been sheer class that Akash Deep has shown, which would bring you to the question that why was he even left out in the first place in the first test? Although conditions were totally different, he could have been even smacked around the park. But then the ability that he has shown with the new ball, he actually.
No, but just on the word of why Akash Deep did not play the first test match, again, I don't think anybody picked Akash Deep. If you also made
even
the 11.
I did not pick. I picked Prasidh, Arshdeep and I'm just saying, it's a general thing that you always, that can come into any fan's mind, that, the way he bowled like this, why wouldn't he have, played the first test? Just a general thing.
That's because you're always wiser in hindsight. Nah?
Yeah, like Gaggar said, you can only pick 15 people, 16 people when that Shreyas Iyer question was there. You would have only of the 15, 16 people pool that you've taken, you had to pick 11. Nah?
Yeah. You can say, you can look at it this way that, had Akash Deep been there,
that
maybe
anyone can say now.
Yeah. No. That is not so much to say that India made a mistake by not playing Akash Deep, but it's more of wishful thinking that, if an Akash Deep also, imagine if he was there in Leeds, what would have happened? Maybe he would have won. That's fine. But I don't think you can look at it in terms of asking a question of the Indian team management, why didn't play?
Absolutely not. Yeah, that was never the point. It's just that one of the common trends that you see with the fans and the kind of perspective that they have, that if something goes well now, then they would be like, why didn't the team do this earlier? So that's the point that I came across.
Definitely, the unlosable would have been unlosable only in the previous test match had he been around. That's what I'll say. But you conjured up a loss where there wasn't one in the first test match. But a quick word on what we saw from him today, breathtaking to say the least. You seldom get to say for a bowler who's on song, away conditions. There's a few spells that come to your mind. Of course, that spell from Siraj is also always going to be spoken of in high appreciation. But what Akash Deep's done in terms of impact, scintillating again, because you weren't expecting. I think the fact that you weren't expecting him to come into this first test match of the series, his first match of the series, and then make an instant impact where you thought that, it'll be all about Siraj, who's going to be the leader. While he was, Siraj also told us about how he likes being the leader when these positions of responsibility come to him. But what a strong case he's made for himself. I was looking at his numbers, and that's probably the one area Akash Deep would want to work on, as to how his average completely changes with the new ball and the old ball. I think he's got an average which would have now improved with the new balls around 9. It changes to 20 with the old ball.
That is still harsh. They are 20
Yeah,
with the
so that's
20 is dream.
dream. Yeah.
yeah. So but this is a short career at the moment.
But the point that he's making is the difference between the new and the old.
Yeah.
While I mean the old ball numbers are also amazing, but I'm saying the gap.
Yeah, 11 points differential that is there. But then see, Akash Deep, I will remember for the 2 dismissals that he's had of Harry Brook in this test match. 303 run stand. He got an in-ducker which swung the most in this whole test match, right through the gate to uproot off stump. And here, just when Brook was looking comfortable, more comfortable than Pope, I would add, he got one in-tucker. And luckily the decision, umpire Sharfadullah, credit to him, we have always been dicing the umpires, and I would say 2 things. Export the Duke's ball from the West Indies to England because that's doing better there. Export the umpires.
The ball is made in England, goes to West Indies, na?
But there
It's not made in West Indies, so how do you
it is not going out of shape there.
different conditions.
Yeah.
Different lot, na.
Batch.
Yeah.
The batch. But the batch is made in England only, na? Dukes are made in England.
Yes.
So from England, made in England, they're sending to West Indies. It's maybe, I mean, I can't even buy that. Usually what happens in India, something that is made in India is made in 2 types. One is export quality. So
Yes.
you send the best there.
Yeah.
The rubbish ones you sell here in the market only. But is that what England is also doing? Export quality, send a good Duke ball.
I know there.
But there it's the opposite. They keep the best mal for themselves, and to third world countries they send.
Since we're talking about this, just about an hour back or so, I was having a chat with my father. Now he's of this emotion at the moment that he wants to bring us something. So he's in New York for a while now, and he's like, but whatever store I'm walking in, everywhere it says made in India, made in India. What do I get for you guys? Like this T-shirt, you have this.
No, please, I'll tell him many places where you won't find made in
And
India.
he's like-
This is excuse of not getting you anything.
And
from
he's
there.
like, what do I even buy? What is the shocking bit? It is either made in India, it is either made in Indonesia or made in Vietnam.
Why is it that then when you go to Zara in India, it's made in Turkey, it's made in Vietnam, it's made in why not made in India in India?
So that's so exactly what I told him then. This is export quality then. So you buy whatever you want to buy, you buy then. But why
Don't
made
let him
in-
get away with not getting you anything. You're saying, "Arey, everything is made in India." What could I have got? No, there are many things, sir, which are available in New York,
I told
which are
him-
not made in India.
I told him to buy one of the things you bought for yourself from there. Like, okay, you go, you have to buy this. And I've been after him.
What thing?
Your shoes, na? These ones.
I didn't buy from New York.
Wasn't it on the same trip?
No.
No.
But of course you can buy.
Yeah.
You can buy it from anywhere.
Then I've been after him. You go to bungalow. Vikas Khanna, he met. Like, you go to his restaurant, na? Whatever work purpose that he'd gone to, he was very happy.
Junoon, right?
No, bungalow. And Junoon also he has a restaurant. I don't know whether it's still functional or not.
Talk about shoes.
Don't talk about shoes, please. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The umpire in Sharfadullah has had an excellent game. So that is why...
Was it his call yesterday?
Yes.
The ducket call.
The ducket call, yes, it was him. But then apart from that...
No, ducket or Joe route, you're saying?
Ducket.
Ducket, the pad.
Yeah, because on-field decision was not out. India had taken the review.
Yeah.
It was a very good on-field
Call.
Sharfadullah, it was that
yes,
time.
Yes. So Sharfadullah, he's had an excellent game as an umpire, and West Indies would want the export of umpires from there and to there also. So that's why credit to the disciplined Indian bowling. Today, I think everybody chipped in with a lot of effort. I mean, if you look at Prasidh Krishna, 3 overs for 6. Now he's bowled 6 overs for 14. Maintained the discipline. Sure, Akash Deep once again capitalized on it. Got rid of Brook, got rid of Pope, inside edge. And Sundar's getting drift at this point in time. And Jadeja's getting some deliveries from the rough. Darting in.
So I think Prasidh has said this, that see, earlier I was picking up wickets, 11 wickets in 2 test matches, but everyone wanted me drop because I'm leaking runs. So forget about picking wickets. If run is everything, I'll go at 2.2 economy, and then everyone will be happy.
Exactly. So
to hell with the
But
wickets.
now I think everyone sort of knows what's happening to Prasidh and the Indian bowling attack for next match.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. No, but it's unfair, as I argued yesterday. The man who's picked 11 wickets, he was highest wicket taker for you in Leeds.
5 wickets here with Bumrah.
And he does not get to play because he's expensive. So now you will then have a merry-go-round, which is now going to be based on economy or wickets or what? See, now, of course, because both of them have done. My other issue is that in bowlers, imagine 1-1 matches are getting you dropped. For batters, we keep saying, like, and which is rightly so. For Karun Nair, I think all of us agreed that, come on, 2 test matches not enough. Give him another go.
Yeah.
Here, Prasidh...
Siddharth was of the opinion that he may get dropped.
Yeah, but I think he'll...
Whether he gets dropped or not, at least the opinion is that continue. Na? Majority might say that, continue. But in bowling, 1 bat test match means out.
Chopping block.
Yeah, you're on the chopping block.
And I think it's going to be a problem for India also. While it's great news that Bumrah will be back for Lords, but then assuming you have Bumrah, Akash Deep and Siraj, then who is actually your third seamer? That's the point. Who can actually bowl well with the old ball? I'm not sure, apart from Bumrah, both can really do it. Because with the old ball, both have really struggled this time around. So that's going to be a cause of concern. That's something that we'll elaborate, before the Lords.
Which is why I was saying for someone like a Prasidh this time, because this test match is being called as the new ball test. Where, I mean, the new ball has really helped. Actually, when come to think of it, there is no test match where the new ball does not help. It helps everywhere. But, I mean, the point being that this has been a test match where that has been the only area or the one particular time where you've tended to pick more wickets than the other. And I mean, the disadvantage of Prasidh has been that he does not get that new ball. Not to say that he doesn't need to find ways to pick up wickets. If that is his role now as first change bowler, he will need to find ways. But the good thing for India now, I mean, let's concentrate on the match at hand. The way the day started, I thought that we'd probably be sitting today and finding the villain and who is responsible, and Shubman Gill, despite having a Bradman-esque sort of a test match, imagine may come under the pump for the one decision that he may have made, because it's looking like the match might not happen. Now of course things have cleared, so it's looking fine. 2 sessions left, 4 wickets for India. I mean, even if the ball is old, you'd still think India should do it. And I'd want someone like a Ravindra Jadeja also to step up in these conditions, because if it's not happening with fast bowlers, and if they are struggling, and as Sundar has shown that you can get a bit of drift and get a wicket, then I would also want someone like a Jadeja to step up, because now it will be upon these 2 bowlers to, I mean, you're not expecting much from a Nitish Kumar Reddy to come and get you wickets. If it's not happening for Siraj, Akash Deep, Prasidh Krishna, then who's left? Then probably Jadeja, Sundar. I guess those have to be the guys you look forward to, or wait till 40 odd overs before you get another new ball, and then...
So then you need the last session then.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there are now only seem like 2 options. I mean, between Akash Deep, because now the ball's pretty old, right? 40 over old. So for them to get wickets is going to be tough. I'm just looking at how is it that India can win a test match. So now, if Jadeja and Sundar don't step up, then you'll have to wait for 40 overs for the next new ball to come in your hand, and then do the...
I told yesterday the T session is going to be the final session. We'll be discussing the post match. It's happening.
So it's happening in this session. So then the new ball is not coming at all.
No.
Because if you look at some of the shots in the defense that Jamie Smith was trying against Jadeja, I think he's clearly struggling. When you are darting it into that rough, he seems to be uncomfortable. Yeah. So it could be Jadeja and Sundar capitalizing on it. Siraj with a bit of reverse swing, he could get reverse with this ball. So I see 4 wickets. Because see, Kars, Tung, Bashir can all fall by the wayside. This is the last pair they're looking at. Smith and Wokes. Get either one of them. 2 hours. This is now a 2-hour session. It's not a 1 hour, 50 minute or 1.5 hour session.
And let's not also forget, if they are 8 down, then there will be an extension as well for half hour. So effectively, you have 2.5 hours that way to look at. If provided you get in those 2 wickets in those first 2 hours.
It is happening.
I think this is going to be now a battle of India's weakness versus England's remaining batters, because India have this perennial problem of getting rid of the tail,
Getting rid of the tail.
Not getting rid of the tail, yeah, absolutely. So I think it's going to come down to that. Maybe, you can take some kind of inspiration from Mitchell Starc, couple of Yorkers, and then wrap it up early.
Though, I mean, they can also take heart from the fact that the first innings they did wrap up the English tail.
20 odd runs for 5 wickets.
5 wickets for 20. That was how the lower order chipped in for England at that time. England had a Leeds, what India had at Leeds. Their tail was 7 for 41, 6 for 31. Here 5 for 20. And now I don't know how much the last wickets are going to have a whole out. So that's why it's clear now that the pitch has started to crumble with the rough that has been made. Jamie Smith looked uncomfortable against Jadeja. 4 wickets, see, you've taken 3 under the most toughest of conditions. What's the guarantee you can't take 4?
Perhaps some of those cracks as well.
Yes.
Remember day 1, I think we were talking about that dismissal where the ball really climbed, and that was the only instance, or barring just that one instance,
Karun Nayar's delivery.
Yeah. Where the ball really climbed on the batter, so we saw that happen. But what we saw from day 1 to now day 5, you've seen some of those cracks now develop as well, as was seen in the dismissal of Harry Brook.
So that is which is pretty weird, because England have taken the heavy roller both times, yesterday as well as they took it today, and that makes the cracks. If you did, and I agree that I think that Akash Deep ball was down to
the crack as well. It wasn't the seam per se.
So I'm just saying that in a way, England contributing, I mean, they should have known better that if
the
they
light roller.
This is something the commentators were talking about it yesterday, and this is a very interesting observation by everyone. It was a deferred visual, I think, that was played, and they had that conversation as to how this could be a thing that backfires. It is backfiring now, but I think the argument that was made from the English side, I don't remember who made it. It was Deepdas Gupta making who had this question for his co-panelists. I think that time it was said that because there's a rain forecast and you're expecting things to be, the sun not to be there, and that was the forecast for yesterday and for today. Perhaps that was the thought, that the pitch is not going to get baked enough for it to crumble. That's why you went in with a heavy roller, but we saw the sun come out later today as well.
They have blundered. England have blundered on all occasions in this test match. I don't know, barring day 3, session 2, which is the other sessions that they have dominated totally. From conditions,
150 plus knocks that
from conditions to combinations to batting approach, everything's crumbled.
Have they been let down by the batting approach in the second innings?
Yeah, I mean, this
morning, that was the whole conversation about whether there's this English side who hates the D word, is how I read it, and it's being said as well on broadcast, and the D word is the draw.
So, I thought you meant delusion, because it could also mean delusion, draw, defeat. Anything of those 3 can happen.
But point being, were they let down by their approach? Did you feel that?
They were demoralized totally, because their bowlers spent 4 days on the field. They just did not have that kind of a batting effort. See, there were 6 ducks, yet they managed 400. Their bowlers just didn't get a turnaround time. They are already demoralized. 608, even if you put Einsteinian brains and Superman bodies, you're still not chasing 608.
You're not chasing, but you can take heart from the fact that there can be runs that can be scored as well, right? You just give yourself time and you see how things go. But I think this is where that test, do they show a little bit of initiative, trying to go for 607, 608?
See, baseball has been put on a road, okay? They can only play in 7th gear. They don't have a neutral first, second,
but
third.
That's what Stokes said on the eve of the test match, or of the eve of the series, that this is about winning. I truth be told, I was looking forward to how that adaptation comes from the England side. We saw glimpses of that in Leeds, but that was more of India shooting themselves in the foot. But my expectation from this English side raised when those quotes emerged from that press conference of Ben Stokes, where he talked about winning, the importance of it, and how you need to be mindful in attack as well.
Again, as I said, this England approach can't adapt to these kind of situations. Where there is little bit of nibble, where there's accurate bowling, they will flounder. Because they believe that they have got a car that will only be in 7th gear. There is no other gear for them. 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd.
What was that whole mindful aggression?
If you see that they didn't really lose wickets because they were
exactly
aggressive.
My point.
Yeah, they've lost.
It's not because of an approach that they lost wickets. I think India bowled rather well. How many players can you think of that were maybe to an extent Crawley?
Crawley, loose shot. That's it.
Other than that, I don't think anyone got out because they were trying to play baseball and be that aggressive.
No, you know what has happened.
Root got a ripper.
Ripper, yeah.
Yeah, everyone. So
Yeah.
that's got nothing to do with their approach.
But because
That I'm batting in 7th gear and so they've
no,
not.
because what has happened with them? Because they have been batting with such aggression, they have forgotten certain basics. Get behind the line of the ball, play patiently, wear out that tough period. They just don't know how to do that anymore. They just don't know how to do it. Technically, they are afraid because see, this wicket,
Yeah, they've just beaten you in a test match.
but
In
on a
Leeds.
short front. This is a short front which they made it look like a minefield because certain technical deficiencies with the right bowler exploited. Akash Deep didn't get banana swing. Outside of just hint, 0.1 degree here and there. Look how they have folded up like a pack of cards. Siraj, accurate bowling. That's what we lacked in Leeds. Accurate bowling. Bumrah was the only guy, but then once Bumrah was neutralized, that's it. No one stepped up for it. England, by playing on these kind of conditions, they have forgotten the art of how to grind out an innings and understand certain technicalities. Look at Harry Brook. People are calling him the next best thing. But once you took him out of those national highways in Pakistan, when he was presented with a spinning deck, look how his average plummeted. 40 wickets fell to spin. Root and Brook both succumbed. His next major test is the Ashes. And if he doesn't do well on those conditions in Brisbane, Optus, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, he's going to be labelled a flat track bully. That's the problem with this approach. And Nasir Hussain, I had one major comment, the biggest takeaway that he said was, see, the biggest negativity from baseball is our bowlers get tired. Batters bat so quickly that our bowlers don't have any turnaround time. Batters can slog across the line, stat pad and get many runs on short fronts. But technicality, look at the technique. If a Joe Root of old, he could have defended, right? But he can't because he's not aggressive.
That was a very good delivery.
No, check the technicality of Joe Root.
Joe Root of the old, you're saying as if he's lost form for now 5 years. He's been the best test
Of
batter in the
course.
world. So he's been best technically and everything. That's why he's currently, I think, currently the best test batter in the world.
He's second in my list.
No, I
Oh,
think
Smith is-
currently he's
Steve
better
Smith.
than Smith. Currently.
Yeah, he's better than Smith. Smith's having
Which
a...
Smith? The number 3 Smith, number 4. Yeah, the one who now
Steve is having a bad time recently.
now who's back to batting in number 4.
Bad time by his standards.
Exactly my
Yeah.
point. I'm talking about like GOAT level standards that they are fighting over.
Then Steve Smith is one, yeah.
Steve Smith is one, yeah. That's the thing. So yeah, England technically when you look at Harry Brook also same, Ben Stokes same, spin, drifting in, straightening, right from the Ravichandran Ashwin school. Drifting in, straightening,
Yeah, that
played
drift
down the
was
wrong
very
line.
good. Very good drift.
So that is why. Then England will have to really have a look at themselves in the mirror because if you prepare a green deck at Lords, India is taking a 2-1 lead. England's not winning at Lords if you dish out a green top. Because the Indian bowling is far better than the England bowling in that sense. And batters far more equipped. KL Rahul has that technical aspect. Shubman Gill also technically can play out on a green deck. Everybody can do it. Yashasvi also. That's why. It's not looking good. It's going to be a long summer for them. And a long winter for them.
What is your prediction for the series at that?
2-2.
You had gone with 2-2.
2-2. I had gone with 2-2. Although I was not here when
For
the...
Ashes,
Ashes!
5-0 in Australia's favour.
4-0.
Oh.
Because I think one test could be a draw or maybe England could do something extraordinary. Stokes could do something extraordinary. But I don't see this England team can't beat Australia. This current Australian side. So that's why India only are 4 away from, by the way, another historic stat. Winning for the first time in Edgbaston.
Edgbaston, yeah. It's 9th match you're playing here.
Yes.
7 you've lost, 1 you've drawn.
And you're
Hopefully now
1 W.
1, yeah.
Yes.
In that whole stat.
Yes.
There can be a W as well.
Correct. So that's why you have breached a fortress finally. I think no Asian side, I think Pakistan may have won at Edgbaston, that we have to check. I think India may not be the first Asian nation to win in Pakistan. I mean in Edgbaston. I think it's Pakistan who may have won also in the past. Let's see. So yes, fortress no more for England. 2 Ashes loss back to back at Edgbaston. Now India, have done it.
Just 4 wickets to take.
They have done it. As I said, although I thought T810, but then I didn't know that 1 hour you would get. So 9:40, we'll all be here discussing India's victory at Edgbaston.
Yes, Shashwat, you want us to take some questions? If you would be kind enough, then we will.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with Loggervillan Speaks, who joins us from the US, saying that imperative that Akash is selected consistently. He was impressive versus England at home too. Krishna lacks the zing and threat to play in test for now. Yes.
He's failed to impress, I would say, and that consistency bit which has been talked about so much across.
He's asked about Akash Deep first.
Prasidh, Akash Deep, I think it's all said and done. And I think
No,
after
he's saying he needs to get a long run. Now what happens in Indian cricket is, now Jasprit Bumrah is back, he plays one test match, somebody doesn't do well, then he goes out, then that rotation. With Akash Deep, he got a chance in BGT as well and then went out. Now it's happened before. That's why he's asking about,
but then
should
he was
Akash
injured
Deep...
na last test match.
Akash Deep.
He got injured last test match.
Yeah.
He played 2 matches, Brisbane and Melbourne.
But he didn't have great returns. So
Very unlucky in BGT though.
that only we said. Not everyone is saying that.
Yeah, for the number of the misplay
People
and
were
misses.
happy to drop him after that as well.
For the number of play and misses, he could have been the second highest wicket taker in that series if he had played all the matches. So
No, but what his point is, should he be given a longer run? I mean, you'd want to give him a long run.
yeah.
You'd want to, but see, that's what I'm saying. Because in fast bowling, sometime, we tend to forget. 2 bad matches will happen, and he gets hammered in 2 bad matches, and somebody else is picking wickets. For bowlers, we easily say, get him out, get somebody else in. It's not happening. Arshdeep is there. Come on, get him
yes,
in the mix. It's happened.
true. Get Kuldeep in the mix. Get everybody in the mix.
You remember Mukesh also started very well. Look,
then
where
All
he is.
3 formats. He and Arshit Rana, all 3 formats.
That battering in Vizag, na, he got.
That's right. And see, so one bad match.
England only.
And where is
One
fish
bad
to
match.
water?
So just as Mukesh won battering in Vizag, now is out of the thing. The way, now everyone's going after Prasidh Krishna. This also could be
Yeah.
his Vizag moment.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying bowlers don't get that rope at all.
Because where is Mr. Fish in the water? He's taken to test cricket like a fish to water. Where is he? Only white ball. He's not in test cricket
Prasidh
anymore.
will now be the one to put Instagram stories.
Yeah.
We saw with Mukesh na this time.
No, whether he puts Instagram story or not to make light of that thing. I mean, in general.
But it's true, 100% agree.
Yeah, because see, I'm just saying, start of this test match, everyone who made the team had Prasidh Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, because of how good he was looking.
2
in
test
white.
matches later, nobody wants him to play test cricket ever again.
No, that's not the case.
No,
with
no,
me at
I'm
least. Yeah, but
not talking
general
about you.
opinion,
I'm
yeah.
saying in general. You just go on social media, people are saying done and dusted. His test career should never. I'm saying it's why I point that out. It's very easy then to dismiss a bowler in that sense. You don't dismiss a batter. For example, I gave an example yesterday of Sai Sudarshan. He didn't have a great start, but nobody's really saying that career is done, to hell with it. People are saying, okay, never mind now, he'll get a chance there. Maybe they'll rotate, he'll come back and he'll have a great career, which is how you need to look at a player.
Yep.
But doesn't happen with bowlers. I hope not everyone suffers the same fate as a Mukesh Kumar. It's also unfortunate.
Unfortunate, yeah. Shubham Garg, even after seeing kind of pitches England has been playing on, how can we consider Root along with Smith? Smith plays on tough pitches, Root average 35 in India. That's what I have been saying. Smith, his period in Australia, now Australia has the toughest wickets to bat. From 44 average, there was a stat that was doing around, right? BGT. 44 average for batters pre-COVID, now it's 34. That's the nature of wickets in Australia.
You're right. Yes.
England, instead of 34, it's now 54. If you have to look at the kind of wickets they're playing on. And West Indies, tough pitches. India, spin-friendly decks.
Yeah, so you're telling me Root has not scored in India?
Root has scored in India.
Then?
But he's
Root
not
has
scored
not
in
scored in
Australia.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah. But Root hasn't scored in Australia.
So then
He has
somebody.
scored in Australia. The only point is he hasn't gotten hundreds. He has about 8 to 10 odd 50s in Australia.
35 average.
Yeah, but then there will be one player who wouldn't have scored in some part of the world. No, that's what I'm saying. So to say that Root is only getting runs in England is also unfair. He's been the biggest thorn in the flesh for India, only in India. If I had to pick one batter that you wouldn't want to see, probably would have been that's not taking anything away from Smith, but then to discredit a Joe Root also saying that he's only getting runs because England has flat batting conditions.
Because
it's also not fair.
In that Fab 4, Kane gets the most flack. He's only a New Zealand bully. Doesn't do well in South Africa, Australia and England. He doesn't do well there.
Those are enough countries to then point a finger at
I mean, we've pointed out two in India and
in Root's case,
Australia.
you're looking for Australia, where also he's got 7-8 50s.
Just 50s, yeah. Rakesh Bhushan, agree with Nikhil. Prasidh didn't get a new ball. He bowled from over number 10. Still relatively new. Altering length is a trade he needs to learn soon. He will set out the third test.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious now. The musical chair. And see, that actually also throws the larger question, I think, which India will have to address. Let's say with the Bumrah coming in, coming out, coming in. What does it do to the rest of the bowlers?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying all of them are always under the thing. It's like, there is only 4 places to sit, and we 4 are sitting here right now, but we know that if a boss comes here, he will take that one place. Then it's always that competition between us. Today I'll have to make the place, tomorrow you, tomorrow him. So none of us then can put our heart and soul into doing what we're doing, in that sense, knowing fully well that between us, one of us have to vacate the seat for the next show.
It's that was very difficult at the moment for Indian fast bowlers. Siraj I would not put in the same bracket, but both Prasidh, Akash Deep, because I think we're expecting too much, and I think as Indians we got lucky to see this kind of a performance from Akash Deep. First time he's thrown into the mix. Because for bowlers as well, just extending that thought about how we put them on the chopping block rather soon and don't have the patience as much as we have with batters. We need to be mindful of the fact that it takes time for fast bowlers or whatever bowler you are to get into a rhythm as well. You talk about there being especially when you're in and out of the side, how do you expect 4 months you're not playing, 5th month you come, one test match you're given, now I need performance, now I need a 4-4, I need a 5-4. It's very difficult.
I mean, let's look at Shardul Thakur. 15 overs or whatever he gets in one test match, picks up 2 wickets. Even his thing, they don't now, career may be done. Seriously, if you go on social media, the kind of hate and targeting it is, I don't think he's going to get a test match now.
What good has Nitish Reddy done to deserve a place in the next test? I think if it's going to be a green deck or something that's going to offer a lot more for the pace bowlers, Shardul Thakur has to play. But then I understand it's a different...
But they will not give him an over to bowl.
Yeah.
He gets 3 overs. He and Nitish Reddy are looked at same way when it comes to bowling. Batting, I know there's a big gap. Nitish Reddy is a better batter. But I'm just saying he barely got any overs.
See, Shardul scored 2.5 more runs than Nitish Reddy in the tests that they played in.
Shardul but I'm just still saying that's not a fair assessment, because I'll agree that Nitish is a better batter. Yeah? Is there a debate that who's a better batter between Nitish Kumar, Shardul? No debate. Nitish is. Forget the runs, forget everything. Similarly, there's no debate who's a better bowler. He is a bowling all-rounder who's picked up wickets. I mean, how many first-class wickets does he have?
More than 100,
yeah, easily 200. So it's clearly the better bowler, but if you don't bowl him, and now because he didn't get bowled by the captain who didn't have faith in him, and so now he will also not be considered.
Yeah,
because you lost the Leeds test match, and it then boils down to one bowler.
Yeah, Abhilash S is saying only way England can become consistent is to promote Jamie Smith to 3, groom someone else at 7. Crawley and Pope can't survive. They need to protect Root. Well, Crawley has...
One thing I've seen with Pope for sure, he's a tentative starter. He always looks very tentative to begin with. Once he gets into, his stride and he's gotten those 15-20 runs, then he can really put out the kind of show that he did in Hyderabad.
But then his first test is awesome. After that, he tapers off.
And in Leeds also, for that matter, we saw.
He scored 100 in Leeds. He's Not managed.
First
anything.
15-20 runs, I think, he looks very tentative first half hour into his batting. Once he's able to, go through that period, then it's a person, he changes as a batter, if you ask.
Yeah. Shubham Garg. Root has not scored in India, Nick sir. Check after double 100. What happened in the other 3 matches in last series? He averaged 35, where all Indian batters averaged 50. Okay, after that double 100 that he hit in that 2021
So
series.
remove the double 100. So
No. Hey, Root has got an excellent record against India. One of the few guys. He and Smith. Huh? 45 average.
Good enough
Yeah,
average.
last series he averaged
No,
only
but then
35.
he's saying now remove the 200. Then now see his average.
No, that won't happen. See, Root and Smith have been beasts
Shubham.
against India.
See, that way actually, Karun Nair then wouldn't have had a place back into the side.
Remove the triple 100.
You remove that, you'll have nothing left.
Nothing left, yeah. Yep. Pranit Datta. I hope they persist with Prasidh. He has shown some spark. Next test, he won't get a chance as Boom is coming, but should remain in contention. Yeah, when Boom rests for the 5th test. Maybe then Prasidh. Because he's playing 1, 3 and 4.
Yeah, he'll play Manchester for sure.
He has to play Manchester because you are looking at 1-1. Lords, I'm looking at maybe England can do something. But if they prepare a green deck, they're doomed. England.
And then it won't help them, no?
It won't help.
It won't help.
And
the
I'm looking at
batters.
Manchester, you have a chance to win the series.
Yeah.
That is if England prepare a green deck in Lords. Yep. More comments, please. Oh, 9-1. Same 9-1. You get 1 win today. Okay, Ashish Chandelier has been asking from day 1. I ask panel again, if Siraj or Akash picks a 10 for whom are you giving the POTM now? Gill, Akash, Siraj. Gill.
Bowler. Any bowler. Either Akash or Siraj.
Gill.
Fine, there's no wrong answer here.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, usually I would have also, I tend to give it to the player who does well in the tougher conditions on that particular. So, for example, if it's a, good bowling pitch and a lot of bowlers are
Picking
dominating,
wickets, but a batter
picking
scores runs,
wickets. Yeah, if a batter comes and gets some gritty runs, then I think that stands out. Similarly, flat track, a bowler does well. But then in this time, you can also argue that, let's say if it's Akash Deep or Siraj, then they got their wickets at the time that there was some sort of help and not throughout. So again, you can argue it that way, but then for the amount of runs that he's got in this one test match, 400 plus runs.
430 runs.
430 runs in one test match. It's really tough to look past a guy who gets that. And let's not forget, whatever said and done, he'll be the captain. You could still nitpick about a few things, but if they are to win, all of that put together, it'll be tough to look past Shubman.
It's a Shubman Gill for me because his 269 set up the game. Then captaincy wise, okay, he got that lead. Then 161 totally batted England out of the game. Totally. Yeah. I think he's my POTM in that way. Sure. No, do you think Root can play Smith type innings which he played on a rank turner in Pune? Whole point is I have not seen Root score runs on rank turners.
That series in India, yeah, that was
Chennai.
a minefield of a pitch in Chennai.
17.
Yeah, not 17.
21.
21.
When
21.
4 test matches were held in Chennai and Ahmedabad.
2 in Chennai. The Chennai pitch, first game he just played it on not so much of a rank turner. It was an okayish wicket. Second test onwards, they prepared rank turners and England were found wanting in that sense.
Suddenly it changed from test 1 to test 2.
Don't
And
even
Ahmedabad, to my God.
forget about it. That was the 1.5 test that is there. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that the Smith pitch was just, that Pune pitch was crazy.
Yeah, terrible.
That was
Absolutely
terrible.
terrible. Yep.
We'll see if Root can play on that.
Whether he'll come in 2029, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay,
just
final
fell
comment.
short.
Dave Pratap Singh.
Chauhan. Nikhil, I don't.
By the way, Kiran Khatri says Shashwat said wicket for Washi, so it's come.
Yeah.
Well done. What do you mean? What rubbish do you write after that? Like haters won't point it out and things like that.
Okay,
Are you in school?
Kiran Khatri does that.
In
Perennial
school?
offender. Yeah.
Achha,
He must be in school. I don't know. So,
Okay. Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan says, Nikhil, I don't think so India will ever find a better chance to win a series in England. England bowling is the weakest I remember 35 years, and batting except Root also has faults. Good point. I mean, overall, I think in the post-match, once the game is done, we'll discuss that. But if India do get 1-1 from a position where you were, clearly the underdogs, nobody giving India a chance to win. Michael Vaughan famously saying 4-0, he said 5-0, 4-0, he said.
4-0.
I mean, for India even to be contemplating a series when it's going to be amazing. But yeah, we'll dwell a little bit more on that once the game is done and dusted. First, you have to come at par at 1-1. You're still 1-0. Two sessions to go, and any rain
No.
threat now?
Over. No more rain
Okay,
threats.
that's great news then.
Yeah.
Okay, look forward to your company at tea time or post-match. In Siddharth's version of things, it is post-match only.
Yeah.
May that be the case. If that is the case, we'll see you any which way. If you subscribe to our channel and you've pressed the bell icon, we'll be live. So
Indeed.
see you then. Bye bye.
See you. Bye-bye.